First, I'd like to thank all of you for coming today.
Opening statement, talking about tomorrow's Excite Night meet.
Tomorrow's Excite Night. It's the first meet of the year, and we're obviously very excited about the opportunity to get out here and compete because we've been training for going on 4 months now. So the girls are kind of chomping at the bit to get going, and we're definitely prepared. And tomorrow we'll find out how ready we are.
Expecting a big crowd. I mean, what kind of against 3 good teams, and what kind of learning experience can this be for your team?
You know, I think the first meet of the year is always a learning experience. It's a learning experience for them, and it's a learning experience for us. We're going to, even though we have a lot of returners from last year's team, we still are playing around with some lineups and changing some things around. It'll be very fluid, even through the warm-up tomorrow. So we're going to learn a lot. They're going to learn a lot, and it'll make us better in the following weekend.
You mentioned that you're making changes sort of on the fly right now. How are you making those decisions, and what is it going to look like tomorrow?
It's strictly based on performance. So, and they've been training for an awful long time, and some of them are hitting right now on all cylinders, and others of them are maybe stubbing their toe a little bit, and the ones that are doing that are going to be coming out, and the ones that are hitting on all cylinders will go in.
You mentioned after the blue-white meet that some people, they got a view of what the ones that are in the place they need to be and the ones that aren't. I mean, have you seen maybe any change over the last month? Do you see some of those that weren't in the spot that they come along in the last month or so?
Yeah, I've seen both. I've seen both. Some that weren't quite where they needed to be that have really come on, and those are your competitors that really want to compete and are excited about it, and you have others that maybe have taken a little bit of a back seat, but I expect those guys to come along too. Once they get in the environment, you know, and they start competing again and they see their teammates competing, they're going to come along and want to be there also.
Last time I talked to you was just a couple days after the news you got about Alexis, and you mentioned being happy with how the team responded. Maybe even since then, have you been happy with how they've responded to that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The one thing about Lex, though, Alexis Gross, who was lost to a season-ending injury, is that she was an emotional leader, and I'm looking for her to try to find her groove and be that emotional leader, even though she's not competing. And that's something that I think is going to take experience. That's going to take her being on the floor in a competition and just find her way, because she's would get right in their face before they would compete and talk to them and get them inspired. And then when she would go, they would do the same for her. It'll be interesting to see how that role develops for her without actually competing.
Maybe looking at everything from competition and how they react to things, what are you hoping for tomorrow? What are you expecting?
Consistency. And I really want, that's what I was just telling the athletes just a few minutes ago, is I want them to find an identity. I want them to be an excited group. I want them to be a tough group. I want them to be fighters. That's what I want. I want them to be scrappy. I want them to come out of the meet tomorrow knowing that if something happens and there's a slip up here and there, the next 5 are going to take care of it, and they're going to make their routines.
What about the fans? What do you hope that they leave Memorial tomorrow saying themselves?
More of the same, man. That's another thing that I ask the athletes to do is develop an identity, not only for themselves, but for the fan base. I want them to be excited, and even if someone has a slip up here and there, I want that fan to come back because they saw that athlete, how they reacted after, and the anticipation of the next time when they're going to hit it.
You such a great year last year, and then you didn't really finish the way that you wanted it to. You get a sense going into it there's motivation with this team to, to finish the way you want to, have a good year, but also to cross that finish line a little bit better? I
hope so. And you know what? And actually the regional meet was pretty good for us. It was the SEC competition that really sticks in my mind, and still bothers me to this day. I think that that's one place that we really want to improve. We want to go out and compete against those other 7 teams and do a lot better job than we did last year at SECs. I think regional meet was a pretty decent meet for us to wrap up the season. We're hoping for more. We're hoping to qualify to the national championship this year. That's always our goal. It'll be interesting to see how the team develops with the fluidity of the lineups right now. We want to solidify that at least by the halfway point of the season and moving forward. And also we have other people that are coming back. Sarah Shipley, who had a little issue this past summer, she had a surgery, and she's coming back hopefully in late February, early March, and we'll be able to get her back in the lineup too. So we'll be increasing our depth. We have some walk-ons that are getting better also, that we hopefully we'll be able to stick in lineups and increase our depth that way as well.
You mentioned this being the first meet, it's the first opportunity to see other teams across the gym. Do you feel like you have the kind of team that will respond in the right way, maybe lift their games in the face of that competition?
I think so. I really do. I think we have some competitors on this team that are excited about. They're excited about the work. They're more excited about the competition, because once you get on the competitive floor, they just most of the time they're going to bring their game to a different level, and that's what I'm looking for this group.
Along those same lines, I think you have the toughest schedule in the country this year, or the second toughest in the country. Can you just talk a little bit about that and going into it? I mean, I know gymnastics is different than men's basketball or football or whatever. Does that kind of worry you some, or is it more let's do what we do and see where we stack up kind of thing?
Yeah, it doesn't really concern me, mainly because we compete in the SEC anyway. So the other seven teams in this conference are outstanding. So we're going against those guys every year, regardless. But it's not like we're football or basketball where a win-loss record. No, trust me, I want to win worse than anything. I don't like losing. That's not my makeup. But at the same time, we're competing against tough competition. We're getting better every weekend, and we're really building this team for the future. And part of this group right here is going to be there when I think that comes to fruition. So we want to go against tough competition every weekend. And by the way, the top 12, we're ranked second in one poll, but in the top 25, we have the toughest schedule.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah. 100 got a score of 100. The next closest team was 87.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
All right. Derek, I like your commercial, man. I saw it the other day. That was pretty sweet.